hacks that you can share with these consistent buyers. Okay. So hostess coaching is how you and your hostess stay plugged in, on the same page, excited, working together, and growing this party and growing your business through the connections that you make through her party. All right. So there's a couple things that you definitely want to make sure that you're doing in your hostess coaching. Now, before I dive into all things hostess coaching, I'm going to say this. Hostess coaching looks different for everybody. There is no one size fits all. So please don't think that there is. Hostess coaching is 100% particular to your hostess. So while there are certain things that I do, they are tailored to that hostess, right? And because I want them to appeal to that hostess, I want her to stay engaged and on the same page with me. Okay. So it all looks a little bit different. This also helps you maintain your bookings with her. So if you are not coaching your hostess, if you're not staying engaged, if you're not kind of walking her through this, you have to remember that these hostesses, even if they're in direct sales, they're not in our company. They don't know what this looks like. They don't know how we do things. They don't know what we have figured out, what works and doesn't work. So we literally kind of need to just hold their hand. Well, if you just kind of drop it on them and then come back at the end and go, well, it really wasn't that great. I mean, can you blame her? Like, she probably didn't know what to do. She probably didn't know where to start. And it is your job to make sure that you are there for her, guiding her, encouraging her, giving her ideas, giving her verbiage, images, to-dos, and just keeping her excited for her party because she booked with you. She was excited to book with you, right? So keep that excitement going, all right? It is also your connection to her guests, okay? So let's just get this out, cleared, and done with. Your guests don't care about her guests, don't care about you. They don't know you. They are not there for you. They don't care what your name is. Like, they're not going to remember your name more than likely after the first one, especially if it's online. It's just harder, okay? If it's in home, you can put a name to a face more easily, but they're not there for you. They are there for their friend, and their friend is your connection to them. It's the bridge between these new customers, these new relationships, these new friendships, this new growth in your business and your current business. Okay. That is your hostess. So hostess coaching is such a huge part of bookings, keeping bookings and growing your bookings. All right. The other thing, you might try a couple things and it just might not work. And that's okay. It's like with anything else, you guys, it's going to be particular to each one of us and to your hostess and what's realistic. And, you know, like some of y'all have full-time jobs during the day. So you can't be jumping through 27 different hoops that might work for, say, Carrie. It's going to look different, and that's okay. So I'm going to give you the main steps for hostess coaching and kind of a real general guide. And then it's your job to go in and fill in that verbiage, make your images, and kind of refine your plan. All right. Before I do that, make it fun. Make it fun for her. Make it fun for you. Otherwise, you won't show up and she won't show up. And then there's no bridge between her and you and her customers. Okay. Make it fun. Like, be excited when you reach out to her. Be encouraging. Okay. And, you know, just simply checking in and see if she has questions is a great way to just reassure her that I'm here. I'm still here to help you. You know, I'm excited for you, so on and so forth. All right. So I'm just going to start with, we'll just start with, say, an imaginary hostess. Okay. So I book a party in the beginning of, let's just say, September. I book a party at a vendor show, the beginning of September. Her name is Karen, and she's super excited. She wants to host in October. And, you know, I get her information. We find each other on Facebook. I add her to my group. We kind of start a conversation and a relationship, right? Nothing major, nothing like stalker weird. Okay. Just like checking in. The middle of September, 15th, 16th is when I try to do it. Remember last week we talked about having those consistent dates on your calendar, and I'm really going to dive into this during organization this month. So I hope you guys are ready. So around the 15th or 16th of every month, I'm going to send her a message, all my hostesses that are on my calendar for October, and just say, hey, it's me, your Mary and Martha girl. I am stoked for October parties. I have seen all the goodness for my hostesses, and I have you down as one of those. I'm just checking in to make sure you're still wanting one of my limited spots. All right, so there's key verbiage there, okay? You want to create some FOMO. FOMO is a big deal, all right? And they will respond and let me know more times than not. Yes, I totally do. I'm so excited. I say, great, this is the party week that I'm doing. So I will be in touch about a week before. Until then, would you like some catalogs to have on hand to pass out and to have one for yourself? Depending on their answer, depends on if they get catalogs or not. A lot of times I'm realizing that people don't want catalogs on hand anymore. They just want that digital catalog link. Totally fine. And I also offer that to them. I let them know that it's a thing. And so if they want that, I just send it to them. So they have a chance to kind of browse and look. And I just tell them, start thinking about like what you really want from your party. Like, what are your top 5 wish list items? If you could have anything from the catalog, what are those top 5 items? And let me know what you come up with when you're done shopping. All right, she's made a wish list without me even asking her to. She has now set goals for her party without her even knowing it. And now I know exactly what she is working towards for her party. And I know what I need to do to help her get there. Because, of course, I want her to get those 5 items, right? Like, I want her to be completely satisfied. Okay. So I have 3 things from just that simple check out and shop. Let me know what your top items are. Okay. Super simple, right? All right. So I check in about a week, 10 days before her party, and I just let her know if it's online. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and create your group at the end of this week. I'll get you invited and you can start inviting your people. Make sure you've made that wish list of the people that you want to invite, the invite list. And I tell her, if you wouldn't invite them to your home, don't invite them to your online. I don't want her inviting 300 people. She doesn't need to be inviting 300 people. It messes with the algorithm. They're not going to see it and they feel just kind of like cattle fed through a chute, right? You want her to invite her top people. If she would invite these people in home, these are her people. Like, these are her friends. These are her family. They will support her. They will have fun. The party group will become a community. Okay. And I don't need to tell her 50 or less, because all I'm telling her is, if you're not going to invite them in home, don't bother inviting them to this. That says all that needs to say right there. Okay. So I'm not giving her numbers and overwhelming her. Don't overwhelm them. That's key. All right. So I invite her to the group. She invites her people and the party starts. After the first full day of partying, I'm just going to check in with her. Hey, have all your people gotten in? Are they having fun? What do you have any questions? As she gets orders, I send her a message at the end of each night that she gets orders. I'm not sending them as the orders come in. One, that just doesn't work for me. Like, I don't sit down to work until around 4 anyways each day because of homeschool. So most of my work is done at night. So it doesn't matter anyways. That's when I work. And it's just easier and it's not overwhelming to her. Like, I can just send her one message and say, you had a great day in orders. So-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so ordered. I'm going to thank them, but why don't you also thank them? Like, they would love to know how grateful you are for their order. Okay. And that's just each night that there are orders. About halfway through the party, again, I'm just checking in, giving her an update on her party. And then the 24 hours before we close, I just remind her to send those follow-up messages. Now is the time to follow up with each guest you invited, offer to help them individually if they have questions, make a message between the 3 of us. I'm happy to help and do that legwork for you. I just tell them, whoever you invited and is in the party group, now is your time to follow up with individual messages. And sometimes they'll get to the end of the week and they'll have no orders and they get real discouraged. And I just tell them, this is normal, quite honestly, for online parties. People want to wait until they see all the things and they have all of the plates set before them with all of the options. And then they're going to make their choice for what they want. And so that last 24 hours is key. And so that's where those follow-ups come in. And when they do that, they see those orders come in and they get really excited. And then I can just give them updates as orders come in. And then we just get together when the party is closed out and we close out her order. So hostess coaching is really simple. I'm not explicitly telling her, like, these are the things that I need you to do. These are your steps. That overwhelms them, whether they're in the industry or not. They just need you to kind of lightly guide them through all of this, encourage them through the week, share with them who's ordered so that they can thank them and they know not to follow up with them, right? They don't need to bombard them if they've already ordered. And that's really it. It's just me checking in and just saying, what can I do to help? I'm here. Like I'm sharing all the things and I'm just kind of here in the background. What do you need from me as your liaison to the company and your party, right? It's super, super laid back. It is individual. Do not put these hostesses in a group message. Please, please, please do not do this. Put them in an individual message and make it personal. No copying and pasting verbiage. Make it personal. Make it short, sweet, simple, to the point. But check in. Be present. Be available. If they're not comfortable with Messenger on Facebook and texting or calling is easier, do it. These are your hostesses. These are your lifelines to more bookings, more sales, and more recruits. Like, these girls are the ones that are going to help you grow your business, and they want to. It's why they offered to host a party for you. Okay. What else? I'm trying to think what else for in-home. For in-home, I always offer to run an online party for them, and they normally always take it up with me. But in-home parties coincide with my open house. Like, my hostesses for that month, they just piggyback on my open house because it's just easiest for me and they love it. They don't have to clean their house. They can just show up and then go. And so the only extra addition to that is just that in-home image that I'm making for them to pass out to their locals. And it's tailor-made to them. The image has Karen's in-home party, super simple verbiage, not necessarily that, but it's a little bit more creative than that. But it has their name on it so that they can be reminded, and if they save it or they go back through text message, like, what is this? And I'm just reminding them on the Monday before the in-home open house, send out your initial invites. What I have found is that if you send out invites weeks in advance, people forget and it kind of gets lost, especially in the holidays. You guys, events are about to become fast and furious here. And it's about to be an abundance of them. So while it's nice to get on calendars, what I have found is that Monday before an in-home, if you're doing it on a Friday, and then reminding that Friday morning, has really great success. I don't know why, but it has really great success and it's been working for about 6 months. So I'm gonna stick with it. But I think it's just because they don't really have a chance to forget. On Monday morning, they're at work, they can write it on their calendar. Friday morning, oh, that's right, I have a party this afternoon. Yay, Friday. Okay, whatever the case may be, they can get excited about it. It's a reminder, even if they can just stop by for 15 to 20 minutes, it's that quick little reminder that they need. So hostess coaching does not have to be some big production. It doesn't have to take up a ton of time, but it is really important. And if you think about it as the image of your hostess being a bridge, you're on one end and her friends and family are on the other end. Well, I mean, you want to cross that bridge, right? Like, you don't want to work for nothing. You want to cross that bridge. You want to make those new relationships. You want to grow your business, step out of your comfort zone. Your hostess is that link She's the one that is going to talk about you to the people that bought. She's going to share you with other people. She's either going to remain loyal or find someone else. She's also going to be how you get new bookings. And you can encourage her to work on people to host from her party because she gets half price items. When I work with my hostesses on future bookings and just remind them, like, you can get half price items at their parties, no limit, they are on it. Like, they will take that wish list and they'll take those half price items that are real expensive and they will go, all right, I need 5 friends to book. And that is, they will work on 5 friends to get those higher items for half price. So that's another great one too, is it's a great way to work future bookings into your calendar. All right, I'm seeing comments. So Jackie, I do Friday afternoon from 3 to 6, just because that's what works best for us and what seems to work really well for my people around here. I was doing Friday from 3 to 6 and then Saturday from 10 to 12 initially, and nobody ever came on Saturday morning. And I really can't blame them. Like, I mean, I just offered it and thought, well, if it's more convenient for people, I will power through on Saturday morning and make it happen. But nobody ever came. So I was like, yay, I can sleep in. And so Friday afternoon from 3 to 6 is what works. During the week is completely out because I still have littles at home. We play soccer, we do gym, we have church, we school, like I still have littles. But I do know that Tuesday and Thursday evenings are good party nights for sure. Yeah. So it does not surprise me that Lisa has really good results for that as well. Yeah. Saturdays are just busy. And a lot of people take Saturdays for family days. So, and Sundays, I mean, Sunday is Sunday, right? So Friday afternoon from 3 to 6, man, my house stays hopping for those come and go open houses. And they're so fun. They're so fun. So find what works for you. Maybe kind of ask your people. I did initially. I just kind of dropped a poll, gave some options, and I picked the top 2 to start with. So anyways, those are my hostess coaching. Super important for booking and finding what works for you, and make your verbiage personal. And if you do, you won't ever stress about verbiage. And like we talked about, and I think in 2 calls earlier, like I mentioned that as I'm typing things out, I literally am talking out loud. So if it's out, if I'm going to say it, I should type the same thing, right? So when I'm sending those hostess coaching messages, if that hostess was sitting at that screen staring at me and could hear me, what would I say to her? That's what I'm typing. So it is personal. So yes, I hope that helps you guys with hostess coaching, and it will help you keep bookings, and it will help you get a repeat booking from a hostess, and it will help you get new bookings from your hostess's friends. So all of those are key. So that's all I have. And I did it in under 30 minutes, Lisa. Every time I'm surprised.
Good job. Thank you so much for working with me too on that.
Sure.
I got home. I'm surprised I didn't get a speeding ticket, but I made it home.
I'm glad you did not, and I'm glad you made it home safely.
Yes, I just put my phone down. Okay, so she made a really good point there. So there's 2 from the question that Jackie that you asked. I think a lot of it has to do with your schedule as you're getting your calendars ready. During like for me, Tuesdays and Thursdays are when I want to gather. Saturdays are important that I keep Saturday and Sunday open. I either keep them open for events or I keep them open for my family time. And so that's why it works for me. But I also ask my hostesses, what is best for you and your friends, and so I think, like, I love that Friday night works for you, Courtney. I can totally see that with young moms, and that would just be a blast. And so it's really what works best for all of you. And thank you for talking about both online. That made hostess coaching seem so easy, and talking about home parties. And I'm going to be doing a training in, I think it's next week for the company, on home parties. And so I just wanted to just add really quickly, I have been having amazing success with home parties, and the majority of them have been on weeknights or even weekdays sometimes. And what I'm seeing is people are just really wanting to gather. And like every party that I've had, there's been over 20 people there. And part of it is, it's the hostess, exactly like Courtney just said. It's you working with the hostess. It's reminding her, who are your good friends? You know, just the same thing. I've been asking all of them. I give them the postcards, and the mail is slowing down. So remember that too. But I've been asking them, are you sending out the postcards? The majority of them are saying no, that they're just either handing them out, they're personally inviting, or they're texting. And then they'll set up a Facebook event as a reminder. But when I ask the majority of those people that have been coming, like, what made you come? How were you reminded? It was the personal invitation from the hostess or the text. And so making that image is the most important. It's not the Facebook event or and so I think the people that are doing home parties are almost going the opposite against it. It's, against Facebook, and so I just want to just give you the heads up that home parties are working, but it goes back to the same thing Courtney said. It's the hostess coaching, and it's how the hostess loves on her friends. So I just wanted to throw that in there for all of you.
Yeah, and those are some great points to bring up that I didn't. So like for my open house, I always create a link for me to be my own hostess, because I'm inviting, and I talked about this a couple of videos ago, I have a list that I have been building since April when I started this, and it's now 100 people. And today was my day to send my invites because my open house is this Friday. I mean, I sent 100 texts or Facebook messages today to the people on my list with a personalized message and an image for them to invite them. And then the ones that responded to me today or tomorrow, they will get a reminder on Friday morning. I'm not going to bombard all 100 again. The ones that saw and acknowledged in some form or fashion will get a reminder. And yeah, I mean, my open houses that I'm having every month, y'all, my list is the same every month. I am getting over 20 people that are filtering through here in that 3-hour period. And each month it's different people show up, but then there are also the consistent people, and they're just craving humans. They're just wanting to see like humans and to let kiddos play and to have fun and meet new moms. And so it's nothing fancy. I think that's the other thing too, is they know that I am not fancy at all. Like I was telling Carrie before this started, I do my lives in my group in pajamas. She dresses up and looks all fancy, and I wear pajamas. So my people know this about me, and like, they're just wanting humans. I mean, they're just wanting to know that like there's life outside there still. And so, yeah, I mean, it's the same people, and not one of them has said, bugger off, you annoying Mary and Martha lady, like not one of them. And, we're going on 6 months now, and God bless my people. I love them, and apparently they love me. So here we are, still sending invites.
Well, dang, if I lived close to you, I'd be hopping over on a Friday too. Sounds like a blast.
My kids love it. My kids love it. This week, Kinley saw it on the calendar. Mom, it's open house day. I was like, it is. Now she's also grounded from friends, so this is like her reprieve, but whatever. But yes, no, it's just fun. And I am my own hostess. So if you're opening up your home, like, be your own hostess. Well, the best way to learn how to be a good hostess is to actually be a hostess and host for another company. If you guys have never done that, like, a lot of what I've learned on how to hostess coach and how to handle bookings is from hosting with other companies. I learn a lot from my friends that are kicking butt in their own companies. And it's also really easy for me to go, okay, tell me why you do this. And does this work well normally? Like, it's working on me, but does it work overall? Like, what have you muddled through to figure out that this works? So yeah, I mean, if you want some ideas on hostess coaching, like, find a rock star direct sales friend and go host a party for them. You don't even have to love the product. Like, just work it like your life depends on it. And then you can donate everything if you want. I don't care, but you can learn a lot, and you can learn a lot from hosting your own party for your own company. So Those are my other 2 cents that Lisa spurred in my brain.
That's true.
Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. It's a little unrelated. What kind of light do you have on in your?
Oh
See
my
how I'm
gosh.
kind of yellow, like I have a glow.
Okay, so, oh, this room, friend. All right, it's this
Crazy.
giant, like long, added on office. It was just a patio. Then they screened it in, then they walled it in. Okay. So it's super long and there's a light all the way at that end and all the way at this end. And so in the middle, if I didn't have this light, it would look like this. Okay.
Okay.
So I found at a thrift store, one of these fancy little,
Okay.
one of these fancy little lights. Again, I am not a fancy person, y'all.
So do you just have overhead light like you, because you guys look pretty clear. Like I feel like there's a yellow glow and it makes me crazy for my
It's
life.
gonna be your light bulb.
I know I got white light. I don't.
But what is the
Is it
cover?
your
look like?
camera? Is it the camera on your computer? Maybe?
I don't know. What do you have in your office there, Lisa?
I have, so my camera on my computer looks funky. So like I bought, it's a
Oh.
Logitech. It's a camera that I plug in and it's
Oh.
not very expensive, maybe $35. It's a Logitech HD 1080p. So I mean, I can show you, I've had it for like 3 or 4 years.
And does it have a light on it or it's just the camera?
No, this one doesn't, but
Okay.
it's way better. Like when I don't use this camera, it's not as good. It's just not as good. So
Okay. Thanks. I know.
it could be your camera on yours.
Hostess
Maybe it
coaching,
even
but-
needs just to get wiped off, you know,
Yeah.
but you still look gorgeous.
Thanks. Better. Okay.
Any other questions? This is a great training, Courtney, on just the basics of hostess coaching.
Good. I hope it's useful. I hope you guys are able to
Mhm.
implement it. And if there's anything that you guys are doing for hostess coaching and it's working, like please share. I mean, listen, I host parties when I feel like I'm in a rut. I host parties with my friends. I'm like, freshen things up for me, friends.
Mhm.
Give me
Something
new
that's,
ideas.
something that's worked pretty good for me recently, and it's kind of funny because it's not even that big of an incentive, but obviously we're sharing the bonus items, right?
Mhm.
I always say there's ways you can get it cheaper, but the way you can get it for free is if you have a $500 gathering with one booking. And it's like $14. I'd be like, I'll take 5, whatever, for $14. Like that's not that big of a deal, but people will seek out a booking just to the thrill of getting it for free.
That was me.
Isn't that funny? And it's $14, but
Straight up. That's why I booked. That was me. It works. I am proof positive that it works.
so that's a tactic.
I don't know if any of you had a chance to listen to, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of her name that did it now. She did the bonus, the booking with the
Mhm.
keys.
Yes.
That was really good. So if you have a chance, go watch that. She was pretty
Melanie
direct.
Davis. Is that her name?
Yes, Melanie Davis. That was it. Yeah, I was like, I'm like, that is genius. I mean, it's just the visual, and sometimes you just have to change your visual around. Like if you've been doing the candy game or you've been using the date cards or sometimes just changing the visual and using our own product is genius too. So I thought that was really good. Carrie.
So one thing that I do that gets my hostesses excited from this, the start of it, is doing the one thing that Marissa talked about, which is doing the curious post. So they can see automatically that friends are interested, because I get so much all the time. Oh, my friends are partied out, or my friends don't want to do this. And I was like, hey, would it be okay if we just as a trial? So if nobody says anything or nobody posts, then we'll know for sure that your friends do not want to participate in this. I mean, you're out nothing. You don't even have to commit yet. And they're always like, well, I guess, and I kid you not, every single time without fail, 8 to 10 women are like, include me. Yes, I want in. And they're like excited. And they'll literally write me like, oh my gosh, like, how did you know? And it works every single time. So that's another way to get them excited and to see that people are interested.
So
that-
tell me about, I love that idea and I've totally seen it. And I think I did it initially when I was with my previous company. Do you give the verbiage for your hostesses to post and the images? Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's literally like a 2-liner.
Oh yeah,
You
it
know,
doesn't
I
need
make
to be
it-
long.
Yep. Short and sweet. And I just give them an image that, usually it's a generic one, like you're invited, or, I might change it up if I already know the theme that I want to do for that particular week. But it's just a really simple graphic and just simple wording like, hey, this is what the company's about. I think I do like the the one company with a sprinkling of Jesus, sometimes they'll change it up too, because they know they're friends.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool that way too. But yeah, works like a charm every time.
Yeah. And it's a super way to either get them all in or to just for you to know like, oh, okay, nobody was interested. This was going to be a party that not waste your time on per se,
Right.
but it wasn't going to be fruitful for them, which would make them frustrated. And then you would be spending all this time on it, So,
Right.
and that happens,
Yep.
not everybody is meant to host a party. Not everybody is meant to be a recruit. It's okay.
Mhm.
We have to be okay
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Thankfully, I haven't come across that yet. I think half the time I'm just as surprised as they are that many people want to join in,
I love it.
But
I
I
love
had
it.
one lady recently who was like, no, I don't want to try that out. I don't, she had a really bad experience with another direct sales company. She said it was a total flop. And I wrote back and I'm like, hey, I totally get it. I've had the same experience because you know what? I do all the time. I will be a hostess for other companies. And so I'm like, I get it. I'm like, but would it be okay if you joined my group this week that I'm doing, my Christmas group? Would it be okay if I invited you to that? And she's like, yeah, that'd be great. So what's my goal there? Because I want her to see what I'm doing and maybe she'll feel more comfortable with wanting to host in the future.
Yep. And that's hostess coaching. Like hostess coaching, you're not coming out and telling her that like you're going to give her step by steps and that you're coaching her. That sounds very formal and not fun.
Right.
But as you message and check in and drop seeds, you are coaching her, right? You're leading her to the next step.
Right.
So yeah.
I just want to add one little side note here. These last couple of weekends, I was a part of these 2 different events. So vendor events. One was a smaller one. The other one was a very large one. And I think what was really good for me was to see our product in action. So to see people, okay, so every kind of vendor was there, like 31 oils, bras, jewelry, like everything. And our booth, both times, the people were just flocking in and they all were just like, this is gorgeous. And like, what is this? And I've never seen this before. And, just the product, they wanted the product in their hand, and so there is really something, I mean, it's online is wonderful and great. And it does everything for us. It gives us a wide net, right? But when we can put those products in people's hands and like see us next to other vendors, like it really shows the Mary and Martha difference. And so anyway, thanks, Jackie. Thanks for getting on. But yeah, we'll get this off because we did such a good job of getting started. But I really love that we're blessed to not only have this time as training, but I also, I love the sweet tips that we all share. And I also think it's important that this connection that we're making, and even all of those that aren't showing your faces right now, we would really love to see your faces, but we understand. But it's really important, I think, just that we're connecting. I want to thank you all. I want to thank Courtney for showing up every week with really amazing tips. And I've been in this business, I'm going on 14 years in November 15th. And I've been taking a lot of these things and, they may be things I knew, but I just need to be reminded. They may be something new that, she taught us. And I really feel like you've really helped me again, Courtney, with my personal business. So I just really want to thank you. You've got it back to like how I was used to my business being. And a lot of it is just putting those simple tips back into place. And so,
Right.
so thank you. And just, I want to encourage all of you to encourage other people to either watch the recordings, like Courtney said tonight, a couple weeks ago, I taught this, or a couple, right? So that's the reason that I really want to get it on YouTube and get the link, is so that we can house these. So if you know one of your people are struggling with bookings or hostess coaching, or you have a really great training here. And so that's what the hope and prayers are for this. So.
Good. Oh, that made my night. Thank you, Lisa. I've really enjoyed doing this, and it's been good to sit down and kind of plan them out, because it's been things that I'm like, I haven't done that in a while and I don't know why. I need to start doing that again because it worked.
Mhm. It's
So,
true.
Yeah.
It's true. So no, so thank you very much. We'll stop the recording here. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight on bookings, which really one of the most important parts is hostess coaching. And so thanks again for that reminder, Courtney, and I am going